How's it going, everybody? This is TurboJim, and I'm back, and I found out that that disc I was playing with in Stanley Parable turns out to be, there is another ending there. So I'm going to go that way, and I also found out there's a couple more achievements. For one, if you go into options and go extras and turn the achievement in here to on, to enable, that you will get an achievement for it. And there's a few other little odds ends I want to do, so I'm going to finish these up.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Go up here, up here, up here. Hold control to crouch, crawl across the desk, and then out the window. When we fall down.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map, until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet? Then in that case, we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option?
Yes.
Clearly, this whole gag takes some time.
Yep.
What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected Continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other option so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers.
I'm going to restart. Begin the game again. Now, there's a few other things I want to do. For one, I'm going to go see what the other option does. I'm feeling it's the exact same spiel again. But
all of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Why won't you let me on top of the desk? Let me on top of the desk. Let me on top of the desk. Ha, on the chair. On the desk. On the computer. Hold control to crouch. Crawl across. Out the window.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map, until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along.
No.
He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes.
We heard this already.
Now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be?
No.
Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in?
No.
Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Yep.
Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just hit escape and restart the game any old time you want, like right now. You could have done it just then. Now would also be an appropriate time to quit. Any of these points and so many, many more, all of them are appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going on where you are literally unable to act on your own desires to restart the game. So, just to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and see how long you can maintain. There once was a man named Stanley, who people considered so manly. But the truth must be told, he was not very old and was quite particularly gangly. What Stanley liked most was buttons. He pushed them like some kind of glutton. He did it all day in a meaningful way, but his brain had long ceased to function. Which is why he is in this parable and lives an existence quite terrible. And if you are not strong and keep playing along, you too will become quite unbearable. You too will become quite unbearable.
I like that music. We gonna get anything else out of this? Or just a waiting game? That's it, I'm done. I was wondering if you'd say anything if I paused and unpaused. Okay. What?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I don't know which one I want to take now. Let's try the left one. Okay, this looks
Yet
like
there was not a single person here either.
Okay.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Let me in.
Here's the door, just go.
The achievement, I'm told, is if you go and push the 8 key. Well, that's 5 key. It's 9 key. It's 5. 8. Okay. So 8, 8, 8, 8.
8.
I got the 8 achievement. But I don't want to go through here now, because we've already done all that. Actually, I'm gonna try that mind facility thing one more time. See if I can figure it out. Then I'm gonna go back because there's another ending with the computers. Computers were looking funny, but indeed there is another ending. Oh.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Yeah. Pick up the pace, Baldy. I ain't got all the... I actually don't even know what kind of hair you got.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
I wonder what happens if I stay right here. Waiting 10 more seconds. Close enough.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
I believe you'll find that these are the same, like, 20 images that they just keep repeating, but I'm not sure.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Pretty much so.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it.
I'm sorry
his
about
own
that.
life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Probably.
But here was the proof,
Back to
the heart
Deathtrap.
of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content, walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again... Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you?
Yep.
After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control?
Yeah.
Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go.
Nope.
Turn the controls off and leave.
Nope.
If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated.
Well, that was obviously the wrong code.
All right, I'm in a good mood.
These things did not
You're
like
gonna
that.
die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine that set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock, why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones, or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? But you really believe there's an answer? How many times will you replay this bit, looking desperately for a solution? 10? 100? 1,000? I look forward to finding it and to watching the bomb go off each time you fail. Just you and me and the retching explosion of fire and metal over and over and over for all of eternity. And Stanley died again. And Stanley died
Wait, that one looks
again.
different.
And Stanley died again. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
Well, I was hoping I'd finally figured something out, but it keeps spitting me out this incorrect thing, so I don't know. I'll have to play with that one and see if I can figure it out.
All of his co-workers
have to
were
look
gone.
around
What could it mean?
and find. Now,
Stanley
this is for
decided to go to the meeting
another one, I
room.
believe.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I have to find a computer that has that input data screen on it. There, that one. Okay, and then we hit begin the game again. And now, through all time and space, we will find another monitor.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley
With that
decided to
screen
go to
on
the
it.
meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay. Huh. I'll check Stanley's computer real quick. And then I'll keep going and checking all the other computers in all the other rooms as I go.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Shut up. Oh, I can't go back in the office. Wait, can I open the door again? Nope. So, let's see if we can find where that other input information tab is. Wait a second. This is it.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might
to the
find an
boss's
answer
office.
there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay. Now we're here. Let's check this computer off. Aha! This computer gave its input as well. Still think there ought to be something about here. But now that we found that computer, we will pause and begin the game again. Then we'll find that other computer, and then we'll look around and see if we can find anything, and if not, then we'll reset and start it again and see if something changes. There, why you do this?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find it. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs
Whoops.
to his boss's office.
I missed. Let's check and see if the boss has a computer or something. No, all that's the same. Elevator. I'd rather go down. Down. This is weird. There's gotta be something with that elevator too. That is totally crazy weird.
Here's the door.
Aw, you shut those doors too. Back to the office. Back through the office. I am so bored because you're not giving me anything fun to do or any witty, insightful humor. Aha, this whole thing has changed back to the normal type of thing. Username, access, none of those computers are it. That's not it. That doesn't seem like it. I'll go ahead and click this one off on here. Aha! It will not let me input on that computer. Let's restart again.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Awaiting input. Input received. Okay.
Stanley went around touching every little thing.
And we're restarting one more time, and we'll find that computer again and see if it does it right or whatever this time. Because it is definitely changing. So. Why are we suddenly in a new office? Ah. Wait, what happened? There is a huge amount of buttons here. I guess I'm supposed to just sit and push buttons. It turned back on. This is not working. Oh, I've jammed myself in between the buttons. I don't know if there's any point to this. I don't have the slightest idea of what I am supposed to do. I'm about ready to stop this. I don't have a clue what I'm supposed to do.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go
Well,
to the
I don't
meeting
know.
room.
I'm
Perhaps he
gonna
had
have
simply
to
missed a memo.
shut up. Okay. I don't have the slightest idea what I was supposed to do there, if there was anything I was supposed to do. But, anything else I missed or didn't know about, if someone will tell me about it, that would be wonderful. This has been TurboJim. I believe I'm about done this time. Check me out on Facebook and Twitter. And also tell your friends, like the video and subscribe if you enjoyed what you saw this time and would like to see more. And I believe that's it. I'm headed out now. Thank you for watching.